I'm Jermaine Stone, Bronx, New York, born and raised, wine expert, podcaster, food lover, and ambassador for the culture. I'm traveling city to city looking for unexpected unions between amazing dishes and great wines.
Damn, I'm loving it.
I'm not one for playing by the rules, so I'll be going from temples of cuisine to street carts to backyards, matching whatever tastes good with whatever sounds great. Bringing my favorite wines with me everywhere. I mean, everywhere. I'm naturally a curious dude, so everywhere I go, I end up chasing the common thread that binds us. Human stories. The whole, why are we here? What are we doing about it? But most importantly, how are we celebrating this chance in life? Through food that moves us.
Yo.
Wine that encourages us to speak up. And culture that travels through generations. I toast to that.
Okay, so I'm taking you to Miriam for some shakshuka.
Shakshuka?
Think about it like the eggs Benedict of Israeli food.
That's what I'm
They're
on.
making a bagel that you've never had before. Let's try this out.
New York City, my home base. These streets taught me everything I know. And because I like to stay curious, they still teach me things daily. This city owes everything to immigrants. And that's also a big part of my story. My parents moved from Jamaica in the early 80s and came to the Bronx. Think about that. Looking for a better life in the Bronx in the 80s. But you know what? They found it, and I'm living proof. My girl Shakera Jones is another Bronx baby. In the next couple days, Shakera's gonna take me to some of her favorite spots in this rich town, a wealth of human stories. Before we start drinking and eating our way through the city, you know the vibes, never on an empty stomach. We grabbing a quick breakfast at her friend Rafi's place.
This is Miriam, my mother.
That's if I can pronounce the name of this first dish.
I think we've got to order some shakshuka.
Nope. Shakshuka.
It's so funny that this
Shakshuka?
A lot of people mispronounce the word shakshuka, which means mix. It's divided to three parts. You have the shak, the shuk, and the ka. Shakshuka.
So I'm Jamaican, right? Like, what they would call this is some all-in-one. You just throw everything in the pot and you figure it out.
It's a very simple, rustic dish, but it's comforting, it's soulful.
NYC is known for the Jewish bagel, and that's 500-year-old news for Poland. So Rafi, an Israeli Jew, is introducing us to something different, the Jerusalem bagel.
Perfect. Ooh, yes, thank you.
All right.
Oh, and I get to rock with this? You gotta dunk it?
In the sauce and in the yolk.
Two kids from the Bronx eating Israeli food in Brooklyn. I'm so honored that you have invited me to take you on this journey.
Come on now.
I've got some stuff lined up. We're gonna start with something that we know. We're gonna have some pizza.
Okay.
Something very, very approachable, easy, everybody
Very New
knows
York.
it. Then it wouldn't be me if we didn't go to the best of the best. We've got a West Indian chef in the kitchen that is infusing her own cultural roots in a way that you would never expect.
Oh, that's very you.
I mean, I gotta stay on brand. Then we're gonna have something very familiar to both of us. Chinese fried chicken. Chinese fried chicken is something two kids from the Bronx grew up on, we know it. But Chinese fried chicken like you've never had it before, with this spicy infusion of Szechuan and Taiwanese culture. I feel like this is the story of immigrants. This is about how chefs have used their culture, their background, and training, and taken all of those experiences and infused it into making food their own.
I really feel like that's what defines New York food culture.
It is.
All this stuff coming together. And honestly, if anybody's gonna take me through the city and mess with some food, I'm gonna rock with you. Come on, you know how that go.
I got you.
And don't worry, I'm gonna take you places that you ain't know you could go with wine and food. That was good, man.
Good, man.
I'm gonna test your wine knowledge, okay? Do you know what the term tannin means? What do you think tannin means?
Tannin?
Yeah.
That's a dark wine. You know, that's the wine that's been in the sun. It's been tannin.
So like the bitterness or like the dryness you taste in like grape skin, especially red grapes.
You know sometimes when people say like, oh, this wine is bitter, or kind of tastes like you bit a grape seed? that's tannin. The thicker the skin of the grape, the more tannin in the wine. You feel like doing a co-host thing? We could just hit the streets out here together if you like.
For those of us lucky enough to have our dad in our lives, they can be a major influence. Here in this place, one daughter's making her own mark, emerging from under her father's shadows. Here's a first-generation Italian immigrant.
It was not like kind of easy to be a daughter of, a master of Neapolitan pizza.
Georgia is a pizzaiolo, a pizza maker. But this ain't no ordinary pizza, though. See, Georgia has won the Pizza World Cup twice, and that has to make her dad one proud Italian expat.
Have you ever made pizza before?
Not with a living legend, but I have.
My dad is Roberto Capruccio. He's the representative of Neapolitan Association of Pizza Maker here in the United States. So every day is a challenge because this segment of culinary art is predominantly male. It's not kind of easy to find a pizza master or pizza maker that is woman. So I was feeling all the time I need to work 3 times more because I was woman, because I was the daughter of the big boss. Let's try to make real Neapolitan, no? We'll start with you, okay?
You can see I clearly need the help.
More help.
Nice
Gentle.
and gentle.
So today we prepare the montanara. It's really one of the traditional Neapolitan pizza because it's fried dough.
So you don't even stretch it, it's just pushing it out.
Yeah, dough is kind of person. Every single dough is different. So we bring everything from Italy. I work with each individual company, for example, the flour company. The people that produce the flour is a really high standard because it's a family company. They want to produce the best flour. For us, it's really important to use high quality of product and by the same time, it's really the simple product. I don't put any sugar, anything, I just...
Nothing.
Just the tomatoes.
Yes.
Wow.
So everybody asks me for the secrets of my sauce. The tomato is coming from Italy, in Campania region, so close to Naples. It's a volcano soil that gives the best taste to the tomato. I squeeze by hands and I just put a little bit of salt. It's so good. Fresh mozzarella. I saw the factory, I saw the farm, and I know what I put in every single pizza.
Let me tell you something. Smoked mozzarella, I'll just eat a whole block of it, to be honest with you.
I think we need to get these in the oven because I am starving.
Yeah.
I'm listening to Georgia's recipe about this ancient fried pizza with meticulous ingredients. I'm thinking all about intergenerational roots, family, belonging. It's my job to play nice with these ideas by suggesting the wine that takes this amazing dish and makes it even better. For this perfect example of pizza excellence, I brought a bottle of Ruffino Riserva Ducale Oro.
Oh, perfect.
You
timing.
already smell
I'm
the
getting
aromatics coming out of this.
right
Oh
here.
my gosh, Georgia,
Look at this.
we love you. Thank you, thank you.
Looks
This is amazing.
absolutely amazing.
I'm very excited to try this.
I'm excited about this.
Let's get into it.
All right.
Now let's try. Oh, I've never had fried pizza.
This is beautiful. I mean, you have tomatoes. People think of it as only acidic, but it's also quite sweet. But what I love is the creaminess that this mozzarella is adding. Like, it's so rich and so light. That slight, like that airiness that we were dealing with in that dough, you feel like those little pockets of air are still there.
All right, this is gonna go perfect with the wine.
And the tomatoes in the pizza are so acidic and sweet at the same time. It's almost like it just slices the cheese on the way down. This works so well.
The
Then you got the
fruit
cherry.
and the
Exactly.
grape.
All right, so you see what I'm talking about.
you did
You see
that.
what I'm talking about.
You got this one. This is
You
delicious.
see exactly what I'm talking about.
Drinking this Chianti Classico Gran Selezione, I'm getting bright red fruit, velvety tannin, racy acidity, and rosemary, an Italian cooking staple.
This is amazing. And when you think about food and wine pairings, some people might not think to pair a higher end wine like this with pizza, but for me, this is just how I play.
Being a second-generation immigrant, you're very conscious about the things your parents gave you. Georgia's dad gave her the gift of being able to make this amazing pizza. And she didn't just accept, she's building the family business into an empire. You know, my dad gave me a great gift too. Where I come from, we would call it the gift of gab. I could talk to anyone, anywhere about anything, especially my favorite subject, wine. Good looking out, Pop Dukes. What is used to ferment wine? Bacteria, sugar, or yeast? What is used to ferment wine? It's C, yeast. This chef is working in the Temple of Modern Elegance. And this is where Shakera hangs out.
This is a space where people that look like me don't always feel, or I should say haven't always felt, like it's a place for them. By day, I am a healthcare IT professional. I started Black Girls Dine too because I didn't see other Black women eating where I ate. We were going to these great restaurants in the West Village, and it's not that we felt uncomfortable or unwelcome, but we were literally the only Black women in the space. Inclusion sometimes is just showing somebody else that you're there and it's okay for them to be there too.
Food is a global story, and so is the story of New York, where chefs integrate different kinds of heritage and flavors into one delicious boiling pot of experimentation. Chef Tish is working her way up the prestigious ranks of 11 Madison Park. And just like everyone in NYC, she brings an interesting family background.
This is the most New York moment ever, and like the best setup for a stand-up joke, because we got a Jamaican, a Belizean, and a Guyanese.
Perfect.
In a 3 Michelin-starred dining room, right? Like, I mean, this
if
is
that's not New York, I don't know what
nothing
is.
is. Like, this is the melting pot at the table, not messing it up. I'd love for you to share with us some of the ways that you've infused kind of your culture, your culinary story, and some of the dishes you've created.
Yeah, I mean, I was born and raised in Georgetown, Guyana, so exactly. A lot of the dishes that I had growing up were vegetarian dishes. So if it was a curry, it was a lighter curry, and it was a vegetable that morning. For one of the dishes, we were using a spice that I grew up with. As soon as I opened the packet, I was like, I've smelled this before. That for me was mind-blowing to see that even my culture was included in this.
It's crazy that you would come here and it would just
And
take
go
you
back
back
home. Yeah.
Like you wouldn't.
I
you
feel
would
it's
not
like the
expect that.
typical chef story. So this dish is a tempura fried artichoke that we're gonna do with green garlic and masa. So we've taken the artichoke itself, we've cleaned it and scooped it out, and then filled it with the plantain masa. So that's where the Caribbean influence kind of comes into play here. And then we take fresh artichokes and shingle them in like a little overlapping layer all around. So it's like this artichoke flour.
Ooh, it's the technique for
Yeah,
me.
the whole thing gets tempura fried with a little bit of rice flour. And when it comes out, we dust the whole artichoke, cilantro, chive, and green garlic powder. Then the green garlic aioli gets put on top, and then a little bit of an artichoke veil. And yeah, fried artichoke, but just done EMP style.
I love it, I love it, I love it.
Knowing we have a plant-based dish, I brought Ruffino Modus Primo with me. This is like art on a plate. Chef Tish, thank you so much.
Seriously, thank you so much for sharing this with us. Let's get into this.
Sure.
This is art. I don't even want to bite into this.
I know, right?
Oh my God.
That's what I'm talking about with this, man. I'm offended how good this is. Yo, now you think about what this Ruffino is gonna do with the dish, and then those black fruits and spices that you're getting is just gonna complement this so well.
There's earthiness to this dish that I think is just, it's making that match work for me.
This Toscana IGT gives me hints of spices with complex herbal flavors and refreshing acidity. So now, you know, I'm gonna make sure I swirl it, aerate the wine. It helps the wine evolve. The flavors are gonna become more and more complex over time and just continue to give you something new in every sip. This wine cuts through all the acidity of the vegetables beautifully and plays nice with that deep-fried tempura element.
I think the pairing was quite lovely. It was delicious. Cheers.
You know how I play, sis. I love you.
You did that.
Thank
love
you.
you.
What do you think approachable wine is?
A little sexy wine, you know what I mean? That's a little wine you like to see it over there. Like, that's got a nice little package to it.
Not too much body, like not too weighty. Something fruit forward or floral that's going to be a little less complex.
Man, I think you might have described that a lot better than I would have.
Shakera's taking me to a place in Brooklyn that has this dish that everybody's talking about. It's the Chinese spicy fried chicken at Eric Kwan's Pecking House.
I worked in fine dining in New York since 2010, and I spent 4 years at 11 Madison Park. I was a sous chef there, and I left just before the pandemic. That's kind of where this fried chicken sprung from.
Eric's family restaurant shut its doors. That's when Eric decided to jump off the porch and go step out on his own. So he rolled the dice and did a pop-up.
Was just looking to help my family out and do some sort of dish that was going to be popular for takeout in the pandemic. So I was just kind of shopping for ingredients around my mom's kitchen, and the whole thing kind of came together, and here we are. Now I have a restaurant.
This chicken, when it first came out, there was a 10,000 order waiting list. Yes, the gamble paid off.
It's fried chicken. How is it your fried chicken? Like, what about you is in this chicken that makes it special?
So I think the way I always describe it is like having a childhood growing up eating KFC and a childhood growing up Taiwanese fried chicken and growing up in a Chinese restaurant. So I think that's what makes it really fun. I mean, it's just like such a neat expression of growing up Asian American. You know, it is a country-style fried chicken. It is unabashedly so, but it has like a really intense overlay of Chinese flavors and Chinese chilies and Sichuan peppercorns.
All right, Chef, coming from 11 Madison Park, I know you can cook.
I hope so.
But can you fry chicken, though? Because that's...
We know something about some fried chicken. You feel me? We know. We know.
There's deep cultural roots there. I would like to think yes. I would like to think yes, but there's obviously detractors that say I'm not qualified for doing so. But you know, it's my own unique interpretation of it, and so far I'm the only one who's come up with it. So unfortunately, yes, I qualify myself to do so.
If they saying that, they ain't been in the hood because. The Chinese fried chicken in the hood is a hood staple. I'm sorry,
it's legendary.
For this little spice bomb right here, I brought the Prisoner Red Blend. Oh, man.
Yeah.
I wanted to go for it.
All right,
man.
Talk about the wine stuff. I don't know anything about it.
We appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, so while you pour, I'm gonna set this up because you know you got to be prepared to eat chicken. Let's do this. First of all, black people eating fried chicken on camera, you love to see it. There's a time in life where we would have both been embarrassed to bite into chicken on camera with people watching us.
All right, I need a minute. It was crazy.
Oh my God.
Damn. All right.
Sometimes people think of Sichuan peppers and they hear how spicy it is. They don't understand how you can nuance it and make it completely approachable. And I think here Chef Eric has done that. Like, the chicken is juicy, the crust. I mean, we bit into it and you heard that nice crunch. And like, you look at this and you think, oh my God, I'm about to eat liquid fire, but it's not overpowering.
Let's see what this wine hitting for. And it's like these black pepper notes that you're getting from the Zen. For me, it's just going with these spices and the chicken so well.
This blend of Cabernet Sauvignon, Zinfandel, and Petit Syrah reminds me of ripe raspberries, blackberries, and pomegranates with a smooth coconut and vanilla finish. This is an unlikely mix of different grapes, but it works well with bold spices, and those soft tannins make it a good choice with spicy food.
This was completely unexpected, and it is delicious. And
I'm loving this.
This is what makes
I'm glad you brought
food,
me here.
Right? And that's the thing, like, look at where we are.
Exactly.
Brooklyn, we can look around us and we point at 6 different ethnicities being represented here. And I think that that's the beauty that food and wine takes you to. Like, it's a continuous journey. We were reminiscing on, like, Chinese food to some kids from the Bronx was life.
100%.
You know, my dad, culinary adventurer long before I did. Like, my dad, for him, like, Sundays was putting us in the car, like, yo, we're going to an Uzbeki restaurant. And it would be in an outer borough. It would be in Brooklyn or Queens or something like that. But I feel like that's such a guiding principle now. Like, in this area where there are so many different ethnicities, we're in a true melting pot. Like, if you just approach food that way, nothing's actually unapproachable.
This feels like something you can get in a fine dining restaurant. But I could order on Uber Eats and go to the park. Also, wine is so subjective. Don't let anybody tell you this is what's supposed to go with this. Yo, try stuff, man. Break some eggs, make some mistakes.
And with that, my friend,
you know we don't trip about this.
Yeah.
As a child of immigrants, I could tell you, you could try to run away from home as far as you can, but eventually, you're gonna miss it and end up wanting to come back. So in this city, People remake their old country homes in food, wine, culture, and that's what New York City is. A place of many homes from all over the world, all coming together to make one epic remix that eventually becomes more popular than the original song. Our families are a great source of inspiration and ultimately success if we take the best of what we're given and make it even better.